This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Hello and welcome to Money Monday, where we give you financial advice specifically for women from Caleb Doane, the Vice President of Foster Financial. Hi, Caleb.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
Good, going good. Okay, so let's get into the inflation. That is like a really hard word for people to hear. It's very frustrating because it really does affect all of us.
Yeah.
And there is a greater risk happening right now. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah. So, I mean, inflation risk, a lot of times we kind of think about this as purchasing power risk,
Right.
which is just the idea that the kind of basket of goods, let's say, that your savings or maybe your income each month could purchase today is a lot lower than what that would be in 10 years from now. So if you have $2,000 coming in every single month from a pension, let's say, which there might be a lot of ladies out there with pensions, maybe even from Fort Wayne Community Schools, for example.
Yeah.
A lot of those pensions don't have cost of living adjustments built inside of them. And so, you might be getting $2,000 a month, and that might be great, right now when paired with your Social Security and everything.
Right.
But 10 years from now, if you're still getting $2,000 a month, it's not able to purchase the same amount of goods. And so that's kind of one risk that's built into people's portfolios. And it's something that, from probably 2010 to 2020, we didn't really think about very much, right? Because inflation was, historically low, very, very low from year to year. And then all of a sudden it was, 8 or 9% in 2022.
Right.
And all of a sudden people started noticing, groceries going up, gas going up, everything. And now it's all of a sudden top of mind.
So this specific term, the inflation risk, does it apply to the pensions, or does it apply to any other type of retirement plan?
Yeah, that's a great question. So pensions without a cost of living adjustment, that's certainly one kind of financial asset that it really applies to. The next biggest one is just your savings that are in, your checking account, your savings account at the bank. It might be getting a small interest rate or something in the checking or savings account, but in all likelihood, that interest rate is far less than what inflation is. If inflation's at 3.5% or 4% now, and you're getting 0.5% in your checking account, you're losing, 3 to 3.5% of purchasing power every single year.
Yeah, inflation is always something that boggles my mind because it almost feels as though as groceries and gas, as you said, goes up, people's paychecks are not going up.
Right.
So if they jump 50 cents to $1, $1.50 a year for like milk, people's typical average raise is 30 cents on the dollar. That doesn't help the economy. So what is the logic behind that difference? Like it's just like, what?
I know. Well, that's when you hear that what they call real wage growth, which is kind of inflation adjusted. If they say that has gone down, that's exactly what they're talking about. And so, and nobody likes that to happen, which is the whole reason why the Fed is raising interest rates, all that kind of stuff to try to combat that. But inflation can really eat away at somebody's purchasing power. And so if you get a 5% raise, it feels great, but then if everything else has gone up 6%, it doesn't feel as good.
Right, it doesn't matter. Okay, so with these risks being here, how can people mitigate the risk?
Yeah, so one of the best ways to mitigate inflation risk is actually to invest in the stock market.
Okay.
So historically, the stock market has been one of the best tools to mitigate against having that inflation risk, because historically it's grown a lot faster than what inflation has. Now there's other risks that come along with putting money in the stock market. All of a sudden you open yourself up to other risks where the market could go up and down, there's volatility, all of that kind of stuff. But historically it's been a really great place to mitigate some of that inflation risk. And so I was just going to say, a lot of times what we'll do is we take a joint approach, right? So, we'll have some of somebody's assets in conservative things like bonds and CDs, fixed income, and then we'll have a portion in the stock market so that portion can kind of keep up and outpace inflation.
Okay, outpace it.
Yeah, exactly.
What a race that will be.
Right.
So I know we speak a lot about Social Security, and so I'm curious with this inflation risk, how does it apply there? Because that's typically a standard amount that doesn't change often. Do they make considerations with inflation with how much someone will receive each year?
Yeah, you actually get a cost cost of living adjustment with Social Security, which is really nice.
Yeah.
The potential issue with that is that, so they raise Social Security with, cost of living adjustments. So people in 2024 here, I think they got a 3.2% raise, I want to say, for Social Security. The issue with that is that can deplete the kind of Social Security fund quicker and quicker. So, I mean, recent estimates just came out. They said, Social Security is going to be bankrupt by 2035 or something like that.
Crazy.
And so, I mean, if they keep doing these cost of living adjustments, which they legally have to, we could deplete that fund even quicker. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's, legislative changes over the next 10 years that could possibly change things. Taking away the Social Security cost of living adjustment would be one potential adjustment that legislators could make to try to extend the life of Social Security.
Wow. Wow. Well, so much we have to look out for. Thank you so much for providing this update and advice today.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you would like more information about Foster Financial, we'll have their phone number listed below. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.